What is up, everybody? It's me45. I am here with our guest, Stony _05, a new up-and-coming streamer to the Madden community. We got him on here. We got Madden 21 launching kind of today with the trial. And we are on our 32nd show. We get this Vikings fan on here. I'm not a Vikings fan, but
yes, sir.
But we're going to get into Stony now. We're going to let him give a little background on how he came into being a streamer, how he got into the Madden community and all that good stuff. And we're going to let him take it away because you know you don't want to hear me. You want to hear him. Take it away, brother.
Oh, all right, brother. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for having me on. Guys, I started playing Madden on a regular playing back in Madden 25. That was the first year I got really hardcore into MUTs. Before that, I was always doing franchise, doing pretty much setting up my own franchise, just playing the computer, rewinding plays, doing all the, just getting the best stats I could get. And then I started playing Madden 25, and that's when the wifey pulled her first golden ticket. And after that golden ticket, I had her hooked, and I had myself hooked. And I'm a huge collector when it comes to like baseball cards, football cards. So it was kind of my new form of obsession with getting as much as I could, with collecting cards. So after that year, we got into Madden 15, and after that, I learned about Mudhead, and pretty much started playing Madden, doing multiple accounts, hanging out, having like an account for my wife, myself, doing fun stuff like that. Just doing the solos. I was just a solo grinder. That's really what I was about. I was about building my team, playing solos. And then kind of just continued to play, became part of Mudhead, and joined the Jedi Clan, which some of the former members of the Jedi Clan and still are members are Digital Champion, Trumpet Monkey, and there's a few other guys that stream as well, JC Steele and Mr. Papagorgio. And really just enjoyed Madden, enjoyed talking about it, enjoyed playing it. And it kind of really just took off. And I was like, kind of like, other than softball, it was like my main go-to. I was always playing Madden. All the other games would come out, Halos, all those type of things, and I would stick with Madden for the entire year. And my biggest love for it was building my team. How good could I get my team? I played a few head-to-head games here and there once I got my team up to like a 95 or better, but it was, as much fun as that was for me, it was more fun to build the team. So pretty much that's what I used to do. I used to actually redraft teams all the time. So I'd get in modes and I'd be like, which players could I get at certain positions in drafting, and could I build the best team out of that? So for me, it's always been about building the team. And then this year is when I really got into playing head to head. So as I said before, I was mainly a solo grinder building coins. I actually used to do solos for other buddies of mine in the Jedi Clan that didn't like doing solos. Like they were strictly head to head, and I got a kick out of always just doing solos. So that's what I always used to do. So this year, basically what ended up happening was I started building my team, and you started getting certain rewards and house rules and things like that came out. And I noticed that if you played more head to head, you made coins that way. You could, you'd get those certain like weekly missions that you would get for certain packs. And my wife loves to open packs, so it's like she's kind of like the devil on my one side, and I'm sitting over here with the angel, like, hey, how's it going? But it's one of those things that it's like I'll sit there and I'll stack my coins. I'll get 5 million coins, and I'm a penny pincher when it comes to Madden. I don't want to sell anything. I'm a hoarder when it comes to the cards. And the wifey's sitting there in my back pocket just saying, come on, let's open some more packs. Let's open some more packs. And it's and I'm just like, hey, why don't you go to bed? I'll play some Madden. And of course she never does, but yeah, so like I would just open packs with coins, and then every once in a while, like we'd get a bunch of gift cards and stuff like that, and we would just open packs and packs and packs. So then I started building my squad and started playing head to head, and I played more and more and more, and I started enjoying it more. My system was always run based, so for this past year in Madden 20, it was really nice to be able to. I was always an offensive lineman growing up as a kid, so I was built for run, run, run. I always built my offense around the run. So at the end of the year, when I started streaming, I started passing more, getting more pass niches, and running on the side. And obviously, at that time when I started streaming, we had golden ticket bow and all the golden tickets out there. So running was always more fun that way, you know. So yeah, I started streaming. My wife actually, right around Father's Day, my wife ended up, she wasn't feeling well. And I've been kind of hanging around. And remember, I first started with Twitch with watching Trumpet Monkey, watching Digital Champion, and just kind of getting into those communities with Swain Games and some of the other guys that were always giving away free packs and things like that with their streams as drops. And I noticed that as I was hung out more with them, I had more in common with them. They were doing this kind of the same things I was doing. And it was like, well, you know, maybe I could do that. I don't know. And so I started just thinking about it. We had a laptop that just completely crashed after like 9 years. And so I ended up, it just crashed. And I was like, well, I need to get a computer. And I was like, well, I like to watch streams. I like to be able to pull up a bunch of streams and just hang out. And I was like, well, one of the biggest things is why not build a computer that's well enough to be able to stream just in case? Never thought I would do it. I was one of those people that everybody was like, yeah, you should jump on there. You should do it. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm a solo grinder. Nobody wants to see that on stream. And building it. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and I didn't think anything of it. Like, and like I said, so what I did was I on Father's Day, what like I was getting to originally was my wife, I was actually playing Weekend League on a Saturday night, and my wife was in a lot of pain. And me thinking nothing of it, she just thought she had to go to the bathroom, you know, maybe it was something different with that. We don't know. Maybe it was something that she ate. So she went to bed, or we both went to bed, and she wasn't feeling well. And the next morning, she seemed to feel better. She went to the bathroom. Everything seemed to be fine. And then my cousin came over, hung out. And then she, you know, I looked at her and I'm like, are you feeling okay? And she's like, you know, I really think I should go to the doctor. And I'm like, okay, I dropped everything, took her on Father's Day to urgent care. Urgent care said, hey, we need you to go to the emergency room. We don't have anything that we can help her with. So on Father's Day, I take my wife to the emergency room at 11 o'clock. And don't forget, this is all happening during COVID. So like literally I dropped her off at the door at 11:30 a.m. and I'm texting her back and forth with my 4-year-old sitting in the back. We were sitting in the parking lot for the longest time, just waiting because we thought it was just gonna be a regular checkup. We found out that she actually had an ectopic pregnancy.
Wow.
Yeah, which it could be very life threatening. So for us, it was one of those situations where we're like, okay, we caught it soon enough to where she's okay. They ended up removing one of her fallopian tubes, and we ended up losing the baby, which is of course hard and whatnot.
Been there myself.
Yeah, exactly, my man. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, my biggest thing is my wife is my rock. You know, she by far, I don't know what I would do without her. Like, she's the one that makes all my emotes. She's done pretty much everything when it comes to the stream. She sets up all of my alerts. I did have her originally set up a lot of my things, and I've kind of taken over a lot of things here lately because I've been getting more invested in it as well. I didn't think it would take off like it has. And honestly, guys, I started off without a camera. It was one of those situations, and then one of my great friends on here, TigerJet21, ended up purchasing a new camera, and he's like, hey man, I got you. If you want a camera, I got you. And I was like, no man, I'm good. And he's like, no, I got you. So he ended up sending me the camera. That's the camera I'm using right now. And so yeah, I mean, everybody in the community and what I've noticed about the community is that we're all family. Like, and I never thought I'd get that. Like, sometimes I feel like I spend more time with you guys than I do with my own family, and not my wife. Exactly. And for me, it's all my family are in Iowa. You know, my mom right now is in Florida, sitting in Pensacola Beach, which I would love to be there. But you know, with traveling and stuff like that, we can't do those things. And so I started streaming, just hoping to make affiliate. You know, and after the first week of streaming, I had affiliate notched. I was good to go. And we just started bringing the beard, after affiliate reached, we did that all without a camera. And then basically we started the beard count. Beard day number 1 is what it was. You know, it was day 1 of the beard. And something that I like to do is I like to wear a different jersey every day. that I stream. Sometimes I use the same ones because I like the way they fit. Before COVID hit, I had lost a bunch of weight, and unfortunately, with COVID hitting, we gained a little bit of weight back. But we're living healthy, we're loving life, and just enjoying life, guys. And for me, it's been one of those things that just the transition to streaming on a weekly basis. I originally started off just streaming just to get the affiliate, and then it turned into, well, what are we going to do with this? Are we going to try to come up with a schedule, set up the backdrops and everything like that? And, it just kind of took off. I didn't expect it to do what it has done. Earlier today, we hit 300 followers.
Congratulations.
And we've been, thank you, my guy. Thank you, my guy. And I never thought that would happen. Like, I started off at 31 when I started with this process. So yeah, after about a month and a half, we've really taken off. Everybody continues to show the love. But what I wanted to do is when I stream, I generally have my schedule where I stream Mondays and Tuesdays, during the nights. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I do a longer stream from like 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And what I've been doing is just trying to kind of feel it out. And what I like about having 3 days off, it's kind of like a work schedule, kind of, if you think about it. But I every day that I'm not, even on days that I am streaming, I'm still in chats, trying to hang out, trying to, throw some much loves in the chats, try to have a conversation. Unfortunately, a lot of the times I'm in lurk mode to where I don't have audio to that. And maybe that's something that I can learn down the road, which would be amazing. But I like to be able to jump in while I'm streaming and hang out and just, show them that I'm there helping them out. I'm one of the things that I've always done with my chats that I've seen around a lot of people, especially with the XHG and some of the other stream groups that I had and with the Get Sticky crew, is they never get away from throwing shout outs out to other people. The ICG groups, there's so many different groups that are out there, but I don't feel like it's just based off the groups. We're all about making sure that everybody's getting the love. And that's something that I've really tried to do while streaming, is really just, always throw out the much love. That's one of my sayings that I say a lot of the times. We got our new emote out that everybody's throwing up in the chat right now. I see those coming out at Casio coming out. And it's, we've been trying to make this thing pop for quite some time. And the first one was just a rough draft, really. We came out with a gold one that was really good that I thought was going to really pop, and then it didn't have that same feel when you're on your PC. Well, the new one that we just came out with, the wife was just messing around, just hanging out, throwing it out there, and I was like, hell, what's the worst going to happen? It's not going to turn out. And like I said, she's made every one of my emotes, and she's done all of my backdrop stuff for my channel, and I couldn't do it without her. Mrs. Sony's around at everybody's chats as well, showing the love, hanging out. There's times that I'm stuck working where I can't get on my phone, and she's in chats hanging out with people, and it's like, whoa, cool, and it shows that, for her to do those type of things without me saying, hey, can you help me out, and just show up and do those type of things, she's doing it because she feels like part of the family too. We've hung out in Retro Yimmy streams, Roy McCracken streams, we've hung out in Smee. What's really funny is, Smee, you look like one of my best men in my wedding. Like literally a doppelganger. Like the first time I jumped into your stream, I was like, holy shit, that guy looks like Nate. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, no way. I'm like, is that Nate? And I'm like, my wife came over. She looks at me. She's like, is that Nate? And I'm like, I thought the same thing. I'm like, it's just crazy. It's just one of those situations that it's like, I wish I could be at everybody's streams. There's just so many people that stream Madden, and it's like, there's some new people that are coming up and getting into the fold, and you see some people that have been around for a good amount of time that are now excelling, and it's like, I don't know what the future is going to hold. I'm just trying to enjoy it. My biggest thing is this last week, and we went 8 hours on Saturday unannounced, just having fun. Like, we went on there, I was just going to play, and then all of a sudden it's like, hell, we're in 6 hours already. You guys want to go 2 more hours? And we had a great group of people in the chat that wanted to keep it going. Which really showed me. We had some people gifting subs in there, which, I always say, you guys don't have to do that, but thank you guys. That's the simple fact of the matter is we try to have fun with the stream. We try to keep it up. We play marbles on the downtime, and really try to get the situation where, it's how can we have fun while playing Madden? Everybody knows Madden can be toxic. And the biggest situation is I want to find ways to where I can give back to the community. And I think with Madden, I'm gonna be able to show them some of the things that I do to build a squad. You know, you might see some solos out of me. I'm going to try to play more head to head this year at the beginning, because even this year I didn't start playing head to head until, you know, Christmas time, around that time, where I felt my team was good enough to where I could go out and play. And this year I really want to, you know, start off right from the get go and be like, hey, you know, I can do my solos, but at the same time, you know, play some head to head as well and have some fun with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now myself. I'm just trying to get all the solos out of the way so I'm caught up before the game comes out, and then I could just knock out stuff. But
Exactly.
so getting it, I mean, it sounds like pretty amazing that you have a wife that is like so supportive. I mean, so I take it she was like pretty like full tilt like when you said you were gonna stream.
Yeah, I think she had known that I was interested in doing it, um, but I don't think and you know, a lot of times, like, she'd be like, "Yeah, why don't you just do it?" And it's like, there's so much more things that, I mean, we have a 3.5 year old going on 4. I mean, she turns 4 in August this month, actually, August 30th. So 10 days. Holy
Oh,
shit!
that's the same as my daughter's birthday.
Holy crap!
Not even
Nice,
joking, dude.
dude.
She'll be
That's
10.
awesome. Yeah, Marcy will be 4. She's actually one of the emotes that I have in my emotes. It's currently only a tier 2. We have 2 people that are able to do it right now, and that's myself and Prod. I got to really work on saying Prodigy's name right, because I'm so used to throwing it in there with the SST, you know. And
I just call him Prod.
oh, then that's why
I don't even mess with it. I'm just like, bro.
yeah, and that's what I've started doing as well myself. But that's my Marcy girl, guys. I just threw those up in the chat. But yeah, she's our 3.5 going on 30.
I think I have my son. I have one of my son. My son's one of mine too.
Nice.
He's my rage.
And like I said, we've been trying the rage. I love it. But yeah, and Marcy girl, don't get me wrong. You'll see her on stream every once in a while. We're actually thinking about doing different type of channel points, where you can actually get her involved in the stream. We do a spin chair thing where she gets on the chair and, like, I just spin her around, and she loves it. The problem is once she gets onto the camera, she doesn't want to get off the camera.
She likes the spotlight. She's made.
Yes. And she cannot sing. I'm going to throw that out there. She has the voice of Stony, which is not ever. I mean, yes, I have a soothing voice. I've been told a few times, but unfortunately, I was not built with a voice like Mariah Carey and, you know, and Usher. Unfortunately.
No, I mean, but like this whole thing is like kind of like pop for you pretty quick, actually. I mean, I've just getting to know you better, and going like getting to know you and knowing what you're about. Like, you're definitely a family man, and I love that too. That's kind of what I like about the like this older group that's in Madden right now. A lot of us have kids, so we don't have that super big expectation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, look, yeah, we know you got kids, you know, you got a family, you're gonna go spend time there. Like, you're not in chat all the time, it's okay. Like, there's a respect level in there, and it wasn't always like that. Like when I came into it, it was like, motherfucker, why aren't you in my chat? Why aren't you subbing?
Right.
And it was like this big sub for sub thing. Like, if you stop subbing to somebody, they weren't subbing to you no more. And it's not like that no more. It's definitely taking this like big 360 spin, and it's definitely a lot tighter than what it's been. Like, myself, as I speak on it, because I have 3 kids myself. I have a wife, and it took a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot of learning for me, because I get like, when I get in this game, I go. When I get Madden, I'm grinding, and I grind for hours upon hours. I mean, I think I've done 3 seasons of franchise, and I just started. I grinded through 3 seasons of it the other day. I just started my 3rd season, and I've done it.
Oh my God.
I might have started like Monday. Like, and
Crazy.
I just grind, man. And like, she knows when it's Madden season, like, she knows what to kind of expect. But there's always got to be that balance. Like, I got to find that spot. Like, look, got to find time for it. Got to, like, right now it's kind of crazy because I'm finding time for the gym, finding time for, got to find time for the kids, got to find time for the wife, and then I got to find time for content creation, doing videos on YouTube, and I'm just like, bro, this is fucking nuts. This is
a lot. It's a lot.
Sometimes I'm like, would it be better to go do a job, like, so I know when I'm on and off, like, you know what I mean? But it's awesome that seeing the kids get involved. I try to get mine involved. Sometimes I had my kid on Let's Get Sticky. My oldest was on Let's Get Sticky. Was it last week? No, Monday.
Nice.
Monday, I believe. She was on. and that's one thing I'm trying to do a little bit more of. And I mean, you'll get it as you go. Is just make sure you keep doing that balance thing, man, because it's so quick to get involved. Like you get so involved that you're not trying to kind of like forget. You're not trying to forget what you got going on, but this thing gets like addicting.
Oh, oh,
And it'll hold you
I
quick.
totally get it, my guy. I totally get it, and there are a lot of times that I'll go into the chats and I literally I get off of work and I'm literally in the same vicinity of my workstation. As my workstation at home is also in my stream station, so it's like literally I literally turn off my work computer, and the first thing that I do is turn on my other computer, and which has like my dual screens. And like I said, I hope to add more as the time goes on. But right now, I'm just excited. I got Madden pre-order for Xbox. I got Madden pre-order for PS4. So my hope is that I can play on both consoles. That way, I can play with some of my guys that play on PlayStation, some of the guys that I play on Xbox. Um, like I said before, I'm a really solo grinder, but at the same time, I'm really excited to see what Squads has to offer this year. I'm really hoping that the game content continues to come. I hope we get an NFL season. I'm scared for that, for the player purposes as well as for what we'll get in content. But at the same time, I'm just excited for some new content. I'm not gonna lie. I played the heck out of Madden 20. I can honestly say that the only other game that I played was Call of Duty, and I played with my boy Dollar Bill, Retro Yimmy, and Roy McCracken. And that was just like 2 weeks ago. That was the first time I ever downloaded another game and actually started playing it. My one of my favorite followers, not one of my favorite followers, but one of my followers that's been there from day one, just got an Xbox. He's actually my cousin that lives like 5 miles down the road, and for once I'm actually able to get him into Madden. So this year was literally the first time that I was able to hook him up and help him out and get him involved in it. So like any of my backup Vikings players that I would pull, I'd throw them over to him. So it was nice to be able to actually get some family camaraderie. My brother's always had an Xbox, and unfortunately, I just couldn't get him addicted like I have been. So I was trying to,
Oh, it's
hey,
not
you
for
want to play with me?
everybody. I mean, it's
No,
not for everybody. Like I know, like you'll get like this year coming in, like me, JG, and one of my mods, LBJ, which is from the UK. We got really involved in squads when they brought that new thing out for the weekly dailies,
yeah,
for the weekly challenges. What it was, we got involved, and if you want to see some fucking content, like it gets crazy with us three in it because it's me and JG usually talking, but we're usually like it's funny because he'll be like, dude, are you gonna throw the ball right? Like we'll be on each other's ass, like, yo, dude, you're sucking, like pick it up on defense, like it gets
don't
going.
suck, my guy.
But
Oh, I get it.
we actually get involved with squads. We do that on PS4. I don't know if we're gonna get involved on the Xbox. Like I know I'll be playing Xbox and PS4 this year. Um,
Okay.
so getting into that stuff, I mean, what are you looking forward out of the game? Like, I mean, is there anything like really caught your eye going into Madden 21? Well, now
Um,
not going
I,
into it, we are in it now. So
the fact that we're in it now, I'm excited to see some of the new players for the Vikings coming into the game. I'm really excited about Work Done. I'm a Buccaneers fan. On this,
done.
that was one of my favorite teams back in the day with Mike Allstott, Work Done, Trent Dilfer, all
I would
those
have
guys.
loved to run behind Nasa. I would have loved it, baby. Like put that big
Right,
baby in
right.
front of me and let's go.
And actually, I have an autographed 11 by 17 of him and Work Done in the Pro Bowl.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's one of the nice pieces that I have from when I was collecting Buccaneers stuff back in the day. And it was just one of those situations where I was able to meet both of them, and hang out with them. And I didn't hang out with them, but I got their autographs. Is basically what
So
it was.
were you a Bucks fan before you were a Vikings fan?
Actually, I was a Vikings fan, and then I don't know if you recall when the Vikings lost in the playoffs against the Falcons with the field goal by Gary Anderson.
Yes.
I decided to put my Vikings gear up for a while, and that was the year that I stepped away from being a Bucks fan or a
You might
Vikings
want to put
fan.
it up again. You got Kirk Cousins throwing the football.
I know.
Don't
But
play.
you also,
As long as you don't play him on Sunday night and Mondays, you're good.
right? I mean, other than that, he's got great statistics. It's just when the big game matters. But see, here's my thing with that to me is look at it from a standpoint of this. We could have signed Case Keenum, but he's been on 4 other teams since he signed with the Broncos for $15 million in 3 years. I think he played for the Redskins too, if I'm not mistaken. How did that work out for Kitty?
Case is no. I think he's back. I think he's on the Browns.
so we had that situation. And there's Teddy Bridgewater, which I would have loved.
I think it was a huge miss by the Vikings letting him go and not.
I would agree. I would agree with you. I wish they would have worked something out as a backup. Right now, our backup quarterback is Sean Mannion, and you're probably like, who? My thoughts exactly. But I don't run the team, so the way I look at it is Kirk Cousins might cost us more money, but at the same time,
money. He cost you a lot of money. I think he cost you more than he cost the Redskins.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's one thing I'll give Kirk Cousins, though. I'll give him that he is good at getting his money because he's got his money. He believed that he took $42 million from the Redskins in 2 years, and then took whatever he's taken from you guys, and it's been a chunk.
Yep. And I was surprised to see us re-sign him, re-sign Zimmer, and re-sign Spielman before the season started. I honestly thought they were going to wait to see how this year turned out. But I wish, like I said, I wish we would have kept Teddy. But at the same time, I get it where they were coming from with his leg, similar to what Alex Smith is going to deal with. My hope is that Alex Smith can turn it around, but I don't know. Only time will tell.
I want Alex to sit down, man. I honestly do. Like I look at it, I guess, as a father, and I look at it as a different standpoint than a football player because I've played football for freaking ridiculous amount of time. I played since I was 6 all the way to 33 years old at a high level. So, like, I look at it now because I'm paying. I paid a lot of price after playing for so long. I played too long, and I beat my body up because, like I said, I played linebacker, I played tight end, and I played fullback. I was constantly banging, and I played kickoff, and I just like to hit people. That was my thing. I was playing at 230 pounds and just smacking people. You know what I mean? And I seen now I'm feeling everything that it's done to me. Like I've had 3 shoulder surgeries on each shoulder now from it, from work, and like my body just can't handle like I can't go do a physical labor job anymore because my shoulders can't handle it. And I look at his leg, and I watched the stuff, and I've seen his leg, and I'm just like, man, like, this is like you're getting paid. Take something. Like you could have probably been the president of the team. You know what I mean? I'm sure Dan would have worked out something, and you could have had something. And to me, it's like I got your pride. I get you're a football player. I get you want to get back on the field, and you don't want to go out like that. But dude, like. Does your leg recover if you take one more hit? Like if you get that one
and that's
smack the wrong way, you get rolled up on the wrong way. Does that mean your leg has to be cut off? Like, and then you can't run around with your kids, and you can't do all that extra stuff. Like that's what scares me the most about the whole situation. Like, I love having him in the locker room. I love having him around the team because the fight that guy's put out. That just speaks volumes to who he is, and you have a type of leader like that around your locker room. It only spills out. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt. And then like I said, I would like to see him sit, because obviously you don't want him to get hurt again. I mean that like you just said, you want to be able to spend time with your kids. I had a similar situation happen with me where I had full ride scholarships to play football in Iowa, and I tore my rotator cuff my freshman year of college. And I decided to just hang it up at that point and just focus on education, and that's what I ended up doing. And and basically I was able to get my college education because they couldn't take my scholarships away because it was a D3 school, and it was considered an academic scholarship. So all I had to do was maintain a 2.0 GPA in college, and I could keep my scholarships, and so it worked out pretty well for me. And I had pretty much a full ride scholarship to go for baseball and football, and they couldn't take it away because of that. I still have pain, and I play first base in softball. I play softball every week. I play a couple tournaments here and there. It's kind of my exercise outside of doing other things with my daughter and stuff like that. I want to get back into the gym. My wife and I are basically going to be going back on the keto diets. which is something that worked out really well for us. We like cheese. It works out. I like cheese. I can't lie.
I'm a cheese mongrel, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
like,
Like me and my wife, like literally in college, we would literally buy blocks of Colby Jack cheese, and we would just literally sit there and eat it throughout the night.
I actually getting into cheese. Like I found this new cheese at the supermarket. I went out and the guy's like, "Yo, taste this. It's actually cheaper than what you're buying." Because I like to get I usually get like Land O'Lakes White American. I just like the taste of it. I won't buy like Kraft and that stuff, prepackaged stuff. I can't take it. And then he's like, "Taste this." Yo, I bit this, and they had like it's Cooper Sharp White American cheese. And I'm telling you what, dude, I ate that. I was stuck. I haven't bought any other type of cheese since then. I'm like, I can't wait to make mac and cheese with this. I'm gonna make some baked mac and cheese. And I'm just like, I'm thinking I might get the wife to try to make some baked mac and cheese. I don't know. It's my birthday, so I might get lucky.
There you go, brother. Happy early birthday.
Appreciate it. But yeah,
anytime, my guy. Anytime, my guy.
So now with everything going on, I know you're working from home, and your wife's home, your daughter's home. How do you manage to get yourself like zoned in, man? Like, because I mean, you bring a ton of energy to your stream, and I know like being at the same place and whatnot and around everybody all the time, even though you love these people to death, it's sometimes hard. It feels like it's hard to get in that mode, man. And you just seem to bring it every time you get on stream.
Honestly, I've actually calmed down a lot since getting on stream. Because I'm one of those people. I'm a competitor. I want to win every game I can. Like that's my goal this year, is that I can get into Zan Madden's ebooks, all those type of things, learn the schemes, learn how to play better. Really the last year, I was doing everything based off of what worked for me, what I could do solos against. And then I noticed that it worked it honestly would work so it would work in head to head as well. So what honestly, I like I said, I feel like I brought it down a notch. Don't get me wrong. There's times that it's like, really, come on, EA, help me out. I mean, you'll see me say, the tap drill. My guys literally will just, instead of trying to go for a pick and they're wide open, they're just going to go for that tap. They just want to knock that ball down. But yet when it's on 4th down and like 40, and my guy should tap the ball down, he's picking the ball off, and it's like, dude, really? Come on. I can't control 11 players on the football field. I'll try, but you got to help me out a little bit too. The biggest thing is my daughter's room is like literally upstairs, right above me.
Oh boy.
So it's like there's a lot exactly, and that's one of the things that we're going to be changing. Is my daughter's birthday is August 30th. I know she can't hear me right now because she's outside playing. Excuse me, sorry. But one of those situations is what my wife will do a lot of the times is she'll actually take her outside to play. And something that what I'll do is, I try to bring it down, but at the same time, you don't realize how loud you're being until it's pretty much too late. So I really try to do that. My daughter will spend a lot of time upstairs. But at the same time, we try to, we'll try to have movie time, or, we'll try to get her in the same rooms, the same vicinity. And then that way, if she wants to hang out or, come over and hang out, she doesn't feel left out, The biggest thing is I don't want her to ever look at me and be like, I don't know him. Why is he doing this? And the thing is like before I started streaming, like that was one of the things is when I first started, I started streaming like right at 5 o'clock. It was like I got off work and I'd be streaming. And it was like, no, I need to change my schedule. I need to spend at least some time before she goes to bed with her. So now you'll see me on Mondays and Tuesdays. What ends up happening is I end up, I start streaming at 7 o'clock. So it's like right when she's ending her baths, going to bed, those type of things. So I try to keep it down. What we're actually in the process of doing, which she doesn't know about, is we're actually going to be moving her room to a larger room. And then basically probably setting my wife up with an office up in her current room until we have another child, which is what we're trying for now. But that's the plan right now. We have a nice house. We have a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house that we got a couple of years back. That's made some money off the market. That's really turned out really well for us, and it's really worked out for me because when I bought the house, the biggest thing I wanted my man cave.
I think we all
give me
want
my man
that.
cave. You can have everything else. And of course, I didn't have a kid at that time, so it was one of those situations where I had my man cave. I had everything. Well, Stoney's man cave has turned into Marcy's man cave. Um, you guys can't see it, but I literally look around the room and I see all of her toys hanging out, and she's got her own little play space to the corner over here, and you know, pretty much we let her roam free wherever she wants to go. She is by far the queen of the castle. You know, it's one of those things that which princess is she today? Is she Princess Jasmine? Is she Princess Cinderella? Snow White? Who knows? Um, and when you think you know which one she is, it's not the case. And it is what it is. But something that we're doing right now is we're going to be moving. Like my wife ended up she out of nowhere, like we were streaming a couple of weekends back, and she's like, hey, you know, Madden drops next month. Should you take some time off from work and just, you know, just enjoy the time off? And I'm like, are you fucking crazy? I'm like, yeah, I'll request for it off right now. I'm like, you don't have to ask me twice. You had me at hello.
Right.
And oh, she's also with Frozen right now. So
yeah, I had those. My little girl's grown out of those.
And I'm sure that's going to happen soon. And I'm just trying to enjoy every bit of it right now, to be perfectly honest.
I hate it.
I
wish they go back.
and from what I've heard, everything goes so quickly. And I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Nuts,
you know,
nuts.
We sit there and look at it and we're like, holy crap, dude, she's 4 going on 30. But, you know, it's gone by so quick because I'm not going to lie to you guys. When we first had her, I mean, I was taking my laptop to the hospital to grind solos. And I'd be playing on PlayStation through the PlayStation app online. And like literally my wife and everybody were sleeping. I was sitting there on Monster Energy drinks, soloing it up. What can I do? And you know, that was one of the things that I was like, I was there in the room, but I was also doing other things when the kitty wasn't around. And you know, I was enjoying everything, don't get me wrong. But like when my wife was sleeping and I couldn't sleep, I'd be sitting there doing that. And that's what a lot of the time that when I'm playing solos and those type of things, it's when the kids are sleeping, when the wife is sleeping. You know, it's like there's some times that I can't sleep. And it's not because I'm, you know, having issues sleeping or anything like that. It's just I'm a night owl. I used to work in a hotel. I worked in hotels from 18 until 3 years ago. And now I'm 30, 38. So
I got one of those right now, Jedi. I got one of those right now. She's turning 10, and boy, woo!
Yeah.
I was like, I look at her sometimes. I was like, if you wouldn't have survived back in the day when I grew up, your ass would have been smacked. Like she sometimes I'm just like, I look at her. That's all I gotta do is look at her. Like they don't mess with me. You know what I mean? Like they go at my wife. My wife's the soft one of the two of us. But me, they know. Like I'll just turn my head and I'll just look. I look into their soul. That's what I call it. I just like open my eyes and I just look straight at them and they're like, oh fuck. And I get my oldest. She's just in this stage where she's just going through the phases right now. You know what I mean? Like she's going through everything right now.
Yeah.
She's hit things a little earlier than most kids do. Girls do at their age, and experiencing that right now. And then she's got this thing where she wants her hair cut short. It's purple, like your jersey. And I'm like,
yeah, go Viking skull, baby.
I'm like, do what you do. And I'm just like, I don't get mad about that. Go ahead and express yourself how you need to express yourself. And it's like, but when the mouth thing comes flying, I'm just like, I just look at her and I'm just like, really? Like, you want one of these? Because I'll hand it. I'm old school. I remember my uncle, man. My uncle never played military, man. Like you come out your mouth, boom, without question, without question. You wouldn't even know what happened. You just take one across the side of the face and like, what's that? And he's like, say it again.
Those times it was fine, you know.
Like say it again. Oh no, I don't play. Like I'll spank their butts. They don't like. It takes a lot to get me there, but if they push that limit, they get it. Like they're gonna get it, and like I'm very big on like I'm not like a drill sergeant, like, but I'm a big like kind of like structured person when it comes to like school and all that stuff. It's like go to school, come home. When you come home, go right to the table, get your homework done. After you're done with your homework, you do whatever you want. That's how I play the game. But like when she's like kind of like your daughter, but she's 10 going on freaking 30. And I think she knows it all. And
we have
such a sarcastic, she's just super sarcastic. And that's how they go. They get older, like they all do it. Like even my like 8-year-old now, she's starting to get into that phase where she's cocky. She's different though. Like my oldest one, she's got like the nerdy thing going on. I mean,
yeah.
she's into like Harry Potter. She's into like the oh, what is that weird thing? I can't even think of the name of it. Oh, I can't think now. It's a cartoon. I can't think of what it's called though. Not Avatar, but it's a type of cartoon. I can't think of it though. Not regular cartoons. It's something else. Oh, God, I can't think. But she's into those
So my
things.
daughter's not in those stages. I'm still trying to get my daughter to watch Shrek for the first time. Her latest thing is Pinocchio. Out of nowhere, she just wanted to start watching
Anime. There it
Pinocchio.
is.
So
There it is. Cash, you got it. Anime.
okay, okay.
So she's really like she's into that stuff. And then my younger one, she's the press one. Like she can't go out the house unless she look good. Like 8 years old, worried about how her clothes are and this and that. And then she's a gamer too, which is weird because they usually don't mix. Like being the press and being the gamer at the same time. Like she's a big time gamer. And my son, he's more of me. Like he likes games, he likes being outside, he likes playing sports. The other two, they can care to go outside. So I'm kind of glad that like
Yeah.
they're like they're going back to school. They go back to school on the 31st, their first day, so they'll go back to school,
Okay.
and hopefully that'll like bring them back to the earth. Like you know what I mean? They've been out of school since like what, March. So
Right, right, right.
so I'm trying. I'm ready for them to go back and like get back into doing things that they're used to, and hopefully they'll get back into like doing like because they've all played sports already. Like both girls played sports, and I'm just hoping maybe getting away from the tablet, getting away from the PS4, getting away from all that stuff will take them back into doing other extracurricular activities. You know what I mean? Like getting
Yeah.
involved with things again. But like I don't know what's gonna happen because like I said with what's going on is crazy because I know like we're around here. They're not even. I don't even know if they're gonna have football anymore. I know they were talking about not having it, and then they were talking about having no fans at the stadiums and stuff like that. So I don't know what's gonna come from it. It's gonna be interesting to see what
Yeah.
unfolds.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. I know that I saw some news today that another baseball team got suspended with some new COVID exposure. So it seems like more and more players are finding their ways of getting exposed to it. So it's it's you got to be careful out there. You got to be safe. Family comes first, and I don't look for any of the NFL players that decide to opt out this year. The way I look at it is, you have every right to do that. Your family comes first. Your safety comes first. Your health comes first. And I respect anybody that decides to do that. So it'll be interesting to see if we have an NFL season. I don't personally think we will. I think there's too much contact with football. I just don't see the bubble system working, but you never know. You never know. There's a lot of money at stake as well when you think about it. I mean, you don't have an NFL season. You're not. I mean, you're going to have. I mean,
Yeah,
who
it's
knows? I mean,
almost do you like? I thought about that myself. Like when you're getting into that, is like, if they don't have a season, can they recover from that?
right, right. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. They've tried doing it with basketball. They've tried doing it with baseball, and I think basketball has worked out, at least from what I've seen. And maybe I'm not in the news as much as I should be, but I haven't seen as many cases of COVID hitting basketball as it is with baseball lately. So maybe the bubble works. I don't know. Of course, as a fan, I want to see. I want to have my Sundays back. I want to be able to watch football and do those type of things. But at the same time, I get where they're coming from, and it's to them it's a job. So I get it. I'm working from home because luckily my job allowed me to do that. So it was one of those situations that I'm thankful for that. But at the same time, it's like, what do you do if you can't have that type of situation where you're going in every day to work and having to deal with those type of situations? So I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think like I mean I understand it myself too. Like you said, it's a job for them, and I mean they're making millions. Most of those guys are making millions of dollars. So I get that. That's their family stability. That's their life stability. That's their kids' stability for when they get older. You know what I mean? Like I get it all. I mean, I think a lot of these places are doing everything they can to keep it settled and whatnot. I mean, what's his name? I think it was a football guy from the Seattle Seahawks. Rookie actually got released because he tried to sneak somebody into
Right?
in there.
No,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, like really?
What are
This
you
threw your
doing, you
whole career
idiot?
away?
Yeah.
There was one thing I wanted to touch
Yeah.
on you with though. The Darius Guy situation. Like going into that, like how have you heard a lot about this?
No, I
And
haven't.
so
What about Darius,
Darius
guys?
Guice, he just got released from from the Washington football team. We pull that back.
Yep.
It's so hard not to say that word. But
Right, right.
he got released because of abuse. I guess it was domestic violence, and then um, he just had something else released in news where he apparently raped two women at LSU, and apparently
Wow.
there was no um, investigation. And this is one of these things I like to talk to people about. Is like these colleges um, hiding things. Like it's kind of crazy. And
Yeah,
how do you feel about these colleges? Like you start hearing about these things a little bit later, and these colleges covering up things. Like I don't know how true it is or not, but we all know colleges cover a lot of things up. I mean, look what happened in Penn State a little
well,
bit ago.
well, exactly. The Penn State situation you had. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever grew up on the show, not the show, but the movie with Nick Nolte. Penny Hardaway was in it. Blue Chips.
Yes,
Um, that was a movie that I watched. The Program. It was
Bluefield
another football
where it was
movie.
at,
Good
bro.
old Latimer. So those are some of the movies that I grew up watching as a kid. So I grew up in that type of atmosphere where people, it seemed like they'd hide stuff if they were on the football team, if you were on the as sports teams and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's, you know, you can't hide if they're doing something wrong. They need to be called out on it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Um, if you look at it, I'm into a show that is on Netflix right now. I've actually watched. I think it's 5 seasons now. It's a football show, um, and it's about a JUCO school where people go into it, and I can't even think of
Oh,
the
I
name
know what
of
you're
it now.
talking about. You're talking about shit. I know. I watch it too. Last Chance.
Last Chance, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's like some of the things that those guys even would do. It was just like, what are you guys doing? It's some of those situations where it's like, I get it that you're a top athlete in the school and stuff like that, but at the same time, you've got to be able to make it through. Like for me, when I went to college, yeah, I had a full ride scholarship, but at the same time, I kept my grades. I didn't depend on other things and other people. I would spend the time in the classroom to make
Yeah,
sure
but
that I was
I think a
passing the
lot of
test.
that stems back from like high school too. You know what I mean? Like because
Exactly, and
I kind of had that treatment back in high school. You know what I mean? When you're one of those top players, it like school becomes a little bit easier. You know what I mean? Like, and it stems to high school. Like it gets like there's teachers. Like, hey, your athletic director. He'll go up to the teacher. Hey, look, can you give him a retest? So he's eligible. You know what I mean? Like plenty of times, like I'd fail a report. Go, you go in, athletic director, go in. Hey, can I can he redo this and get like maybe half credit or something like that and blah blah blah. Like, and it's where it stems. Kids get so used to that process because they're a player and they get that upper hand on it.
special, yep, the special
And
treatment.
yeah,
It's
and that's one of those things is like I think that stems back all the way. It goes back to high school, and then when they get to college, they get the same thing because these coaches want this player to play, and instead of teaching these kids how to be men and adapt to their surroundings and learn and prosper from what chance they are given, it is more of a thing as well. I'm on a full ride. Um, I can do what I want. They get that they get that thought in their head. I can do what I want, and you can't touch me. And then when the school goes or coach goes and hides it for him, what's the kid gonna do? Whatever the hell he wants.
Right.
And
Yep. Um, and I never dealt with any of that, like, in college or anything like that. Like I said, I went to a D3 school in Iowa. Like literally, we were 15 miles from Iowa City, University of Iowa. So that's one of the reasons I'm a Hawkeyes fan. I grew up in Iowa. I actually, when I was 3 years old, I moved out to California. I lived in the San Jose, Cupertino area up until I was 13. And when I was 13 years old, my grandfather got diagnosed with leukemia, and they gave him 5 years to live. And that old bastard at the time, he lived 25 years, no meds, no nothing. Like literally got us back to Iowa, and all of a sudden life was great. Don't get me wrong, he had health issues, he had things that he had to deal with. And then pretty much it was one of those situations. We moved back to Iowa when I was 13, and I played baseball. I was actually a really good basketball player. But at the time when I was playing basketball, I came into a new system. I came from moving from California to Iowa, and the guy that we had starting at center in basketball, he was 6'5". I'm like, yeah, I'm 13. I'm 13 years old. I'm 6'1". Thanks.
yeah.
And I was by far the better basketball player. But since he had that advantage of being 6'5", he was able to start more than me, and I ended up going from being a center, where I was playing tournaments out in California, playing traveling tournaments, going to Stanford, going to Cal State Fullerton, playing on the basketball courts there, to going to Iowa and basically riding the pine. And I'm just like, for me, it was one of those situations where baseball and football were those were my top priorities. Like those were the sports I always wanted to play. I had never got a chance to play football in California. It was going to be my freshman. It was going to be like my 7th grade year when I went out there to start playing football. But more or less, when I was growing up as a kid, I was playing basketball and baseball in California, going to tournaments, doing all those things. And for me, I just enjoyed it. We was so busy with those type of things in California at the time. And, it was one of those situations. I moved back to Iowa, and it was like, well, I went from playing my main two sports were at that time were basketball and baseball. And so when I moved to Iowa, it ended up turning from that to baseball and football. And for me, it was one of those situations where I was always popular throughout the kids, because I would always have a conversation with people. I wouldn't, just be like, hey, bye, and just dip out. I would whether it was, the jocks, whether it was the nerds, whether it was anybody, I would treat them the way I'd want to be treated. That was the way when growing up as a kid, that's the way I was always wanted to be treated. You treat people with respect, you earn respect, and then on top of that, you treat people the way you want to be treated. My grandfather was probably one of my best friends growing up as a kid. They used to come out to California, pick me up, and take me back to Iowa every summer. We'd literally drive back and forth from California to Iowa, which for me as a kid was amazing, because all my cousins were living out in Iowa. So it was like I had the summers with my cousins, and then baseball in California ended early, because that's just the way it worked with the weather out there. So, and then baseball was ending in during the summertime in Iowa. So when I moved out to Iowa, again, I focused on baseball and football. And then, my high school year, my junior year in high school, I started wrestling on top of that. And what I would do is I'd sit around 275 to 300 pounds, offensive line, defensive line, during football season. And then I would literally, during wrestling season, I'd drop down to 215 and get ready for baseball season. I would just start working on that. And I'm sitting there, everybody's trying to drop weight. I'm eating ice cream. I'm like, let's go, guys. Good luck. I hope you. Great job. And for me, I was one of those guys that I was a workout alcohol. I mean, I was a workaholic when it came to the workroom. I was literally in there all the time. And that's something that I haven't had a chance to do. Oh, snap. Prodigy with a rate of 10. Love seeing it. My guy coming into Smee. Let's go, Smee. Let's go, buddy. Guys, love seeing that. Thanks for being here, Prod. I greatly appreciate you, my guy. But yeah, for me, it was one of those situations for me where, I went to college, I was all about going out there, making football and baseball a thing. And then I tore my rotator cuff, and, I found the meal plan. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I found the meal plan. I found out what beer was all about. Joined a frat, and I gained
It all
the
speaks for
freshman
itself.
40.
It speaks for itself.
So, but at the end of it, guys, I met my wife in college my junior year. Um, I pretty much graduated. I went home and started. I ended up getting a accepted to go to get my master's degree in social work. That was what I wanted to do. But when I got accepted, it was going to cost me $36,000 a year to get my master's degree, and I was going to go make $24,000 a year. And to me, that just didn't seem right. I was like, how does that compute? It doesn't. So I couldn't see myself doing that. I do want to go back at some point, and get and further my education, whether it be psychology, uh, or any of the other majors that I had growing up. I wanted to actually coach football and baseball when I was going to school, but unfortunately, I have a learning disability when it comes to Scantron tests, to where I can't pass Scantron tests, guys. I took the SATs I think 4 times, and my highest score was a 17. Yet I had a 3.9 GPA in college or in high school. So it was just one of those things where for me, I just couldn't make it work, and they weren't willing to work around it. So it was like, even like you had mentioned earlier with the whole college thing, I'll tell you right now, guys, I got accepted to college, and I actually got rejected from the school I went to. And I got a phone call from the varsity, or not from the varsity, but from the coach from football, and he's like, "Hey, are you ready to come to school?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I got a rejection letter in the mail 2 days ago." He's like, "Oh, well, I got that taken care of for you." And I'm just like, "What?" And at that point, like you said earlier, I'm like, "Okay, let's go." And I ended up coming out there, and I took full advantage of it. And my little brother at the time was my freshman year in college. He actually went to the Lily World Series, played in the Lily World Series from the state of Iowa, from Davenport, Iowa. Um, One of his teammates actually played in the NFL for the Eagles, played for the Buccaneers, Julian Vandervelde. He actually has Madden cards, which I think is crazy because I remember him when he was like 12 years old. He was 12 years old, 6'4" and 250 pounds. Kid was just a beast, offensive lineman. But my brother went out and played in the Lily World Series out in Pennsylvania, and they ended up taking fourth. I think it was fourth in the world, second
It's
year.
actually not too far from me.
Really nice. That's
I think
awesome.
it's like a 2-hour drive, something like that.
Yeah, for us it wasn't that. So yeah, like I said, I tore my rotator cuff and found out that I tore my rotator cuff right after 2 days had started, literally. And when I found that out, I was like, well, maybe I can get home and go out to the Lily World Series and spend some time out there. I ended up watching it all from TV while he was out there. But it was cool for me to. I was always going to go into coaching, going to do those type of things, and I ended up changing my major when I just couldn't pass a Scantron test to get in for their ed department, and I ended up changing my major to psychology and African American studies. Which for me, growing up as a kid, 90% of my buddies that I was hanging out with at all the times, they were of the African American descent. And like I said before, I was always one of those people that I played basketball, I played sports, and I didn't look at the color of somebody's skin, the race, those type of things. That didn't matter to me. As long as you treated me friendly and showed me the love, I'm going to do the same thing for you. Yeah. And that's the way I, the color of somebody's skin is, they can be purple for all I care. Just treat me the way I want. Treat me the way you want to be treated. That's all that matters to me. And for me, it was one of those situations where, that was something that interested me. Going to Iowa, I didn't have those type of things. I didn't learn about those type of things. So for me to go and actually focus an education on it, it was pretty cool. I actually got to interview some of the first NAACP members in the community at Cedar Rapids, which I actually got to do like little videos with them and actually go interview them in their house where they bought their house at, which was just amazing for me. Like, it was a way to kind of give back to the community in Cedar Rapids and just, tell their story during college. So it was really cool for me to do those type of things. So it was one of those situations where not a lot of people know what I majored in college, because I don't really like to talk about it. It's not something I like to bring up, but it's like, they'll be like, really, that's what you majored in? I'm like, yeah. It's like, to me, I wanted to learn something new. I wanted to be able to grow as an individual. And really, for me, it's one of those situations where I was just glad that I could learn something new and contribute to the city of Cedar Rapids and actually give back a little bit as a college.
It's crazy. Like I feel like I'm sitting talking to myself right now because like I did the exact same thing as you did. Like when it came to like I was a football and baseball player. Basketball was my middle thing. Like it was my middle sport just to keep me in shape for baseball season. Because we all know like, you get into baseball season, you're out of shape, and then they expect you to run. It sucks.
Exactly.
So like people would be like, why? Like I'll be going full tilt in basketball, like where you're doing suicides and running and stuff. Like, bro, like it's like you love this stuff. I said I do love this because when I get to baseball season, this shit ain't gonna affect me. And that's how I always thought about
right,
it.
right,
And
right.
like I was like that myself. Like I really got involved with it. Like, and it was kind of like the same thing that happened to you. I was more sought after for baseball though, and I had full rides on the table from two ACC schools, and I came over the top, poof, shoulder popped, and I could never throw as hard
Ooh.
as I was. Didn't I never knew if it tore or anything because I didn't get anything checked or anything, but I just couldn't throw as hard anymore, and it took them off the table because they were strictly like sports. Even though I had the grades, they were sports.
Yeah.
So, um, I went football. I was like, well, I can bang. Like I don't need to throw nothing. I can catch the ball. We can bang out, and that's what I did. Oh, we
No.
got an appearance for the daughter.
Want to say hi? No. Okay. No.
Now
Sorry.
I see why you say she's the princess and the queen of the house.
Are you Princess Elsa? Can I help you have your shoe? It's okay. Oh, don't take those stink. No, it's not stinky feet. Stinky toes.
The boss is in the house.
Yeah, she's got a personality, my guy. She definitely does. But yeah, oh wow, she should really move those shoes. They're really bad. I'm like, damn, girl.
Get this
Oh, but yeah,
Frito Lay's feet.
Oh my god.
So I mean,
See,
with the way all this is going for you, I mean, what's the plans for you going forward? I mean, do you got anything big planned, or are you just going with the flow and wherever it takes you, you're going?
honestly, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. But John Candy made the greatest saying I've ever heard in that. I just like to go with the flow. I don't have plans. I've grown the stream just kind of doing what we've been doing. There's things that we want to add to it. There's things that we want to change with channel points. We want to add some features to that. We've had a lot of people want to do a channel points to shave the beard.
Oof.
I don't think that's going to
I've
happen.
done that already. I've done that. I've lost that one. I did it for charity though.
Then see, and that's what I think would work best.
My beard
Is
was
to do
bigger
it.
than yours when it happened, bro. Like it was monsters, and I was like,
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it felt good, like it felt good though, because it was like one of those things like you wear that thing for so long and you're just like you forget what your face is.
Well, and then when you sent me the message to hey, send me a picture. I actually had a picture where I was like clean cut, everything. Like you could, if you saw me, you were like, who the hell is that? And I thought about sending that one, and it's like that didn't really give any of my personality or anything. And
But
I sent that picture that I sent to you with me on the beach. You know, that was my sister's wedding out in Pensacola Beach. My niece was out there. She was probably 1.5, 2 years old, and she wanted to bury Uncle Stony. And I let her. I let her do whatever
it's
she
always
wanted
those
to do.
big guys that got to be buried.
Oh, exactly. And don't get me wrong, sand everywhere for days. I'm just saying.
I'm good.
And right.
I don't need any grinding nuts, bro.
Exactly. But and that's what's crazy is with my family. I actually have two sisters and a brother, and all three of us, actually all four of us, have all had girls. We have my oldest niece, which is living in Moline, Illinois. She's going on 6. My daughter's going on 4, and then I have two nieces that live in Illinois and Iowa that are in the 3 years old range. So they're all around the same age range, which is amazing. But crazy at times. All four of them
Oh, I can
together
only
is just
imagine.
chaos.
I know how it gets here. I know how it gets here. Like that when they're at that ages, because like one of my buddies, he has 2 boys and a little girl, and we call her Hurricane Robin. And she's she's the queen of their house, and when she gets going, over. She's destructive. And then we have Tidal Wave LJ, which is my son. And when those two meet, it just those two, it's crazy. And
Without
then
a doubt.
now my wife's brother moved back to PA, and he's with a girl. He has his own son, but she has a son and a daughter. So now when they all get together, it's like, oh my God, what is going on? Like I try to disappear for a little bit because I love kids, and it's just those kids are just 100 miles an hour or more. Like like it's full tilt for 8 hours. Like they don't slow down. I'm like, dude, like how? Like how does this even happen? Like just chill. Like when they come over, I close the bedroom door. Like they're not allowed in my son's room because like it literally gets flipped upside down. Like I kid you not. The only thing it probably doesn't get flipped upside down is a TV in the bed. Everything else, I'm just like, I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, like really? Like Jesus Christ! Like you want to cry? You're just like, it's gonna take forever to clean up.
Right, and that's funny because a lot of people will hear me say my daughter's Hurricane Marcy. So I thought that was funny that you just mentioned that as well.
Like,
But
it just wrecks things.
There's so many times that you'll like literally clean up after them, and then like literally 2 minutes later, it looks just like it just did when it's like, kid, why don't you clean up and show me how quickly you can do this?
Right.
And then it's like they don't want anything to do with it. It's like, no, I'm gonna be a grump over here in the corner, and I'm gonna watch you do it.
Nope.
Just like, no.
Like what I did, like my son used to do that, and he would pout about it. You know what I did? I would just leave it go. I was like, you have fun. And he'll cry. He'll be like, I can't get in my room. I can't walk. I can't do this. Well, clean it up. That's what I tell him. Exactly. And I won't touch it until he cleans it up. And like, it's crazy. Is just kids just like they really expect us to do it all. Like they really do, man. At that age, it's kind of crazy. But I want to open it up. I want to open this up to the chat because I'm sure some of them got some good questions for you and whatnot. I don't want to keep you too long. I don't know if you got a stream tonight or if you're getting into Madden tonight. So I want to let them get into you and let them ask some questions. So chat, it's on you guys now. If you want questions answered, Stoney's your man now. If Stoney, if you have any questions for me, you're welcome to ask them, man.
So what are you excited for in Madden 20?
I'm actually excited that you can actually release the ball and you can actually jump up. Like I've been playing pretty much all day, so I got a good rip at the game today. And a lot of the stuff I'm liking is that you can actually get a receiver like Michael Thomas, Evans, like those guys, you could actually throw a jump ball and go get it. You know what I mean? And that's huge.
Nice.
Like it's huge to me. It's one of my biggest complaints is that I couldn't get one of those receivers like that are meant. That's what they do, how they make their paychecks, jumping up for a football, and you can't go up for the ball in Madden 20, and now you can do it. Like so, I'm pretty pumped. Right. So the first one we got here from Kingman Glitch. He wants to know what's your Super Bowl prediction.
My Super Bowl predictions? Well, I know the Vikings are going to beat the Saints in the playoffs, so that's at least one start. Gosh, good question.
I really,
to be perfectly honest,
see the Chiefs being back there again.
Yeah, I see the Chiefs. And my hope is that the Vikings will get there, and then we'll finally get that victory. I don't know if anybody saw the Vikings trophy case that I showed on stream the last couple of days, but if you well, it's just if you have a pack of cigarettes, if you smoke cigarettes and take off the little bottom piece and then turn it upside down, that's their trophy case. Yeah. So it's empty. Exactly. But yeah, no, I think it will be the Chiefs. And honestly, if the Saints can stay healthy and do it,
I honestly think what?
Yeah, that would not be my choice. But nice try there. But yeah, I definitely could see the Saints coming back. I'd say it's going to be the Saints or the Niners, to be perfectly honest. I think those two teams have
the Niners defense is going to be ridiculous this year.
Exactly.
And then we have another question we have for that. Another one we had was, how can this Irishman grow a beard as epic as yours?
Guys, I'm going to tell you right now.
A lot of creams and
I don't actually use any type of product other than Head and Shoulders and the beard. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I've seen Smee with the Manscaped stuff, and I'm honestly thinking about getting some of that stuff. But right now, I use Head and Shoulders. Unfortunately, I got screwed from the hair on the top of the head type of gene.
He's talking like
My
this,
grandfather.
guys. Like, yeah.
So like for me, yeah. So yeah.
Blinded by the light, just like me. See, guys, we may be brothers. I don't know. Kind of getting weird. A
So
lot of
right,
similarities
right,
going on. Black
right.
glasses.
So
My beard
when
turned
I
red
found
like
out,
yours.
exactly. So for me, it was one of those things that I knew I wasn't going to be able to grow a nice mullet like Jared Allen had in the back of the day because he used to do the little
Yeah,
fluff,
yeah, yeah.
So for me, I was like, oh, you know, what can I do with this? You know, can I get the beard going? And for me, my wife likes the beard. So you know, when I was 13, 14, I was growing a full goatee. Um, so yeah, for me, it was a way for me to grow hair. My hope is that someday that I can do the whole comb over and just pull it over the face and just I'll have a full set of hair on top too.
Why don't you want to be like
No,
one of those guys? You ever see the guys that can put the little bowl in their thing in their beard and it sits there and then they eat ramen noodles out of
no, I haven't. I've heard of it. I used to
it?
watch a Netflix original with the beard people that they used to have beard competitions. I never took it seriously like that. But yeah, the wife loved the beard. The beard's worked out well for me. I used to always grow it. You know, Snow Shave November, I would always start the beard, and then we'd always do a Vegas trip for worlds for our world tournaments. And then everybody kind of ended up having kids and whatnot, and it pretty much turned into us no longer going out there. And one year when we went out to Vegas and played, we actually played against Jose Canseco's team.
Oh wow!
And it's like, dude, that guy can still mash, and he's still got that, you know, one of those situations where he's got the little, you know, he's got to do his little mouth thing. Uh, but yeah, that guy could mash. He's probably the worst first baseman I ever saw in softball, but by God, he could still hit the ball. And when you're standing next to him, oh my God, he's still 6'6".
He's
Guy's
always a big
huge.
dude. He was a
Oh,
big dude.
huge. Yeah. Oh, look at this. The wifey brought me another beverage, guys. She knows I'm ready to go. But yeah, that's pretty much the beard is just kind of I got lucky. My dad had the Hulk Hogan look at age 18, and my grandfather had the he lost all of his hair when he was 25. So I wasn't going to have a chance to have anything on the top, so I decided just to grow it on the beard. And the wife, anytime the wife used to piss me off, I threatened her, "Hey, I'll shave the beard if you keep it up." Now it's to the point where I can't really use that because everybody knows me by the beard. So there's a couple great beards in the community. Rhino was the first that I remember of. You had Chewbacca at the time. I'll tell you right now, one of my boys, Ginger Snitch, that guy's got an epic beard, and I'm slowly getting there as well. And the gingers are coming back, and we're going to take over Twitch. This is the way I look at it. So let's go, baby. Here's everybody that's showing up today. I greatly appreciate you all.
That's the crazy part about it, though, is like, I don't know if I have Irish in me, but if I like my beard now is kind of dark, but if I let it grow out, it turns to a red tint like yours, just like yours. So weird, man.
And for me, with my actually head on my head or my hair on my head, when I actually had hair, and I used to use all the gel products back when I was in intermediate school, high school. My hair was always lighter on top. I was actually a blonde, with the sides were always dark, and then my goatee would just be straight up ginger. It was really crazy. But that's thanks to my mom. She's got that German blood in her, and it was passed down from the Rossenbach side of things. So yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I have anything in me. I don't know if I have Irish or if I have German in me. So that's one thing I've always been trying to figure out. But I don't know. It turns red. Definitely gets the tint in it. And
there's nothing wrong with that, guy.
It'll be back eventually here. We'll probably start growing it back towards the end of August.
I remember my first beard.
It's not my first one. I just don't keep it. I just can't do it in the summer, man. I can't do it. Like I honestly cannot do it. I can't because I sweat really bad. Like as soon as I get outside, like I'm just one of those guys that gets sweat, and I'm just like, dude, no, I can't have this on my face. Like it's just not happening. Like this is as far as it goes in the summer, and that's it.
Makes sense.
Guys, you guys have any more questions for Stony? They were just chatting away with themselves. I'm trying to see.
I do see that Casio asked me how many different jerseys I have in my collection.
Oh, I missed that one.
No worries, my guy. No worries, my guy. Oh, goodness gracious. I'd say we're above 25 jerseys. There's a lot of jerseys that aren't um, authentic, that I kind of just got as, oh, those were the jerseys I could get. But I do have a Warren Moon authentic Mitchell and Ness jersey. I have a Warren Sapp, John Lynch, both in the red and black authentic jerseys. I got Chris Hoven's jersey, which is another ginger that played for the Vikings. I have a Harrison Smith, Adam Thielen, which right now, unfortunately, those jerseys just don't fit me very well. So I'm trying to get back into the weights where I can actually fit into some of those jerseys. But I got a pretty massive collection. My favorite jersey, probably altogether, though, is one of my baseball jerseys, which a lot of people don't know that I'm a huge baseball fan. I actually get into MLB The Show a lot. I took a couple years off. I think the last one I played was when Aaron Judge was on the cover. And I had my whole team. Like I said, I'm a grinder, so I had every card you could unlock. I went no money spent with that season, and pretty much just grinded solos, doing those type of things. I don't think I ever even played an online game unless it was maybe one or two here and there. But yeah, I have a Jeff Bagwell authentic World Series jersey that I have, and then obviously my number 34 Kirby Puckett jersey. So,
Mr. Puckett.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That
I remember Mr. Kirby.
Deekster just asked who was my favorite twin of all time. I would obviously say it was Kirby Puckett altogether. I grew up in the 80s, so I have the 19.
No Torrey Hunter involved in there?
The wife's favorite player is actually Torrey Hunter.
Torrey was the man, bro. I used to love him. He was so fast, especially going across their field back in the day. Like their field was that old artificial turf. So like it was like running. Like when you ran, you were moving.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I was a huge fan of Torrey Hunter, and a lot of my autograph memorabilia is when it comes to Twin stuff, due to the fact that we used to always go to Twins Fest. So we were able to, meet Harmon Killebrew. We did not, unfortunately, get a chance to meet Kirby Puckett because I moved up to Minnesota in 2007. But some of the main autographs that I have, are I have Tony Oliva,
36 jerseys in the collection. Yeesh.
Oh, 36 just downstairs. And I think by far my favorite jersey ever was the Rockford Ice Hogs jersey. You want me to tell you why? My brother's sister, my wife, and my brother's wife now all went to the Rockford Ice Hogs game. It was a Chicago Blackhawks affiliates in Rockford, Illinois. I go up to her. I go start looking around. They actually have bigger size jerseys, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, that looks amazing. And I look at it, and this is like at that time I think it was like $80, and I'm like, oh, that's really too pricey. And I show the wife, and I'm like, should I buy it? And she's like, no, that's way too much. I have a couple of beers. I go back down, and I find the authentic one with the fight strap and everything. That ain't no $80.
Oh no, they're like 300 some bucks.
So I come back decked out in it.
Oh my goodness.
Stoney was in the doghouse for a while, and I think I've worn that jersey maybe 7 or 8 times. So every time I have a chance to wear it, I like to throw it out there just to say I got my money's worth.
Yeah. Hey.
But my grandfather was
we got a bunch of questions.
All right. Okay, I'll let him go.
We got so we want to know when Roy McCracken wants to know when you guys are playing more MUT drafts.
I'm open to playing more MUT drafts. This is the first time actually this past weekend was the first time I had ever played MUT draft. Like I said before, I used to draft teams all the time to where that would just take over, and I would never play with the teams. I would just draft and be like, oh, I'm bored, I'll redraft. So that's pretty much what I started doing the last week of Madden, was just redrafting teams. And I played like 6 games. So, Roy, I'm ready for the challenge, my guy. You beat me last time by 2. Stoney's going to take you down. I'm going to sweep that leg, and good luck, my guy. Good luck.
And then Deekster wants to know who is your favorite Viking of all time.
A lot of people have asked me that. My favorite all time is John Randall. I grew up loving the defensive line. He used to eat all the time. He reminds me of those guys back in the day, like Reggie White. I remember those Pro Bowls when you'd have Reggie White, you'd have John Randall, you'd have those guys on the D line, and they made the people look like idiots. And they were just so skilled back in the day, and they would literally just throw people around like rag dolls. And one of my biddies one is him just like going crazy, just going crazy. And you guys will see it if I ever get any biddies. I do the John Randall, and I tend to always throw a T in there for the middle name. I have no clue what his middle name is, but if I have a player, it's Randy T. Moss, it's John T. Randall. You know, we throw that T in there just to have a good time. And you know, that's my favorite player of all time was definitely John Randall.
And they want to know what jersey size you wear.
I wear a 56 to a 58.
Which means it's probably a 3X.
3X, 3X, 4X is what it is for the size of jersey.
They want to know who your favorite Minnesota North Star is.
Favorite Minnesota North Star? That would be Mike Modano.
I see.
For sure.
They want to know if it's true that you're undefeated in Madden 21.
I am undefeated. I have yet to play, baby. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that going for a little bit. But I have it downloaded both on PlayStation 4 and Xbox. So I'm planning on rolling on both consoles, mainly due to the fact that I want to be able to do some giveaways this year. And I really felt horrible at the end of the year that I was only able to give away a bunch of Xbox stuff. So this year I'm gonna hopefully grind both. I'm gonna try to make a theme team on both, where it'll be the Vikings theme team, but more or less at the beginning of the year, they'll probably be more of my backups. Like the fact that, you know, I got to play with an Anthony Barr that's a 78 overall isn't going to be something I want to advertise, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is what it is. It's about building the squad. It's about seeing what kind of cards come out of there. I'm not a huge fan of the card art, but I'll get over it. It's just like any game. I get into the grind. I forget what the card art looks like, and I just want to play Madden.
And they said, Easter said he read somewhere you were the 5th person in ZZ Top with Ginger Snitch. Is this true?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. I'll let Ginger answer that question someday. No. Unfortunately, like I said before, guys, I might have been in the backstage of things, just holding on to their gear and stuff. But no, I have no singing qualities whatsoever. And no, I do not want shots. Tiger, shut your mouth.
So they said, what do you think of Captain Kirk?
Oh, Captain Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, guys, there's a reason. My cousin and I are huge Vikings fans, and we're cousins. But anytime that we buy NFL jerseys,
I'll let you run the show.
A quarterback. Sounds good, brother. You can do whatever you got to do. I can talk away. But basically, what happens is whenever we buy a quarterback jersey, they turn out like Christian Ponder. Or they turn into Brett Favre and he gets killed by a certain team. So we've decided not to buy a Kirk Cousins jersey. My hope this year is that with the fact that we actually drafted a left tackle that we can pair up with Bradbury and Brian O'Neill is the first time I've actually felt good about, you know, for instance, the offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm excited for what the NFL season has to offer. I'm still worried about our guard situation because we still have Pat Elflein, who shouldn't be a starting left guard in the system of any team. And who knows who our right guard is? I don't even know. But the way I look at it is if we get an NFL season, my hope is that Kirk can stay healthy. He can win those big games and take us to the Super Bowl. But at the same time, I'm not going to put my money where my mouth is. It's a simple matter of a fact is we'll see what happens with the season. My hope is that we'll get a full season out of Dalvin Cook, that we won't miss Stephon Diggs, that Jefferson will jump into that role. I'm really excited about the draft picks that the Vikings took. I feel like we had a really good draft. I'm excited that we got a left tackle finally because we're no longer having to deal with the left tackle we've had to deal with the last 3 years. Riley Reef, I think Riley Reef is what his name was. But that I'm excited. Football is here. First stage of it is always Madden. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a full NFL season if we can get one. And if not, we'll have a full season of Madden, and hopefully with lots of content. That's really the hope I have.
So I don't know if you answered this one yet, but they want to know how you became a Vikings fan.
How did I become a Vikings fan? My favorite uncle, growing up as a kid, was a Vikings fan. My cousin, which was pretty much my closest cousin at the time, was a Vikings fan. So I had those two people in my ear from the get-go. My dad was a Bears fan, or my stepdad was a Bears fan, and my other cousins were both Chiefs fans. And for me, I liked the purple and gold from the get-go. I was a huge fan at the time when Randy Moss got drafted. That for one thing was a really nice thing to see. I was a huge fan of Chris Carter. At the time when I was becoming a fan, we had Brad Johnson as the QB. So that was one thing. But at the same time, after that field goal, it took more in me to become a Vikings fan back in the day because I did switch over when the Buccaneers did draft Allstott. I watched some of his training footage of him pulling a car doing 40-yard dashes, and I'm just like, that's the kind of guy I want on my team. And the Vikings went out and drafted a guy like that too, which his name was Jim Kleinsasser, and that was one of my favorite players too. Growing up as a kid was
when we had fullbacks, man.
Exactly. Give me a Daryl Johnson. Who have we ever seen him?
I'm a big fullback guy, dude. I love fullback. Like people will be sitting there like, when we're in CFMs, I'll be drafting fullbacks. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? I'm like, I need a fullback, bro. Like I'm old school. I'm a downhill runner. I want my fucking fullback hitting the hole and opening it up.
I'll never forget Madden 15. Madden 15 was the year they brought William Perry in as the fullback for the Ultimate Freeze series. And that card right there was by far my favorite fullback card. I'd put him in there and I'd literally run the ball with him. I'd just be like, okay. And I know they did the same thing this year with Quentin Nelson and Vita Vita, or Vitava, or whatever, however you pronounce his name for the Bucks. But yeah, for me, it was one of those situations where for me, I've always been a fan of fullbacks. You had Daryl Johnson when I was a kid that was around. You had the big boys blocking in front of like Emmitt Smith. You had those guys blocking in front of. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Tom Rathman for the Niners. That was back in the day. It was really popular blocking in front of Ricky Waters and some of the running backs for the Niners that were really good. But yeah, those were some of the guys that I grew up watching. And I'm a huge fan of Mike Allstott. I'm a huge fan of John Lynch, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, Rondé Barber. Some of those guys growing up, and even Trent Dilfer. If you look at my collection of cards for football, I have a collection of Trent Dilfers that were pretty much every one of his cards up until he moved away from the Bucs. And for me, it was one of those things that when I moved to Minnesota, I kind of became a diehard Vikings fan. Went to some games, actually went to the Vikings Packers game when Favre played against the Packers for the first time. Monday Night Football game, that was pretty dope. Saw the Vikings come back on that game, which was amazing. And yeah, it was a game. I was really a fan of when Favre came to the Vikings. I didn't know how it would turn out, but it was really good. And up until the time when we played the Saints and they took him out and had a bounty on him, breaks my heart.
So, Ginger Snatch wants to know: do you think Dalvin Cook is a top 5 running back currently in the NFL?
I do. If he can stay healthy, I think he's a top 5 running back without a doubt.
Dalvin Cook's a monster.
Without a doubt.
He's a freak.
And I'll tell you right now, like when I heard that he was talking about sitting out this year for money, part of me wanted to say, hey, I'll pay you whatever you want. But at the same time, he hasn't had a full healthy season ever. Yeah. I mean, I think last year, that's the thing is you got to show me you can stay healthy. When he's healthy, he's by far one of the best running backs in the game. This past year in Madden, it was really fun seeing him get good cards. But unfortunately, we didn't see any after, he got his 97 overall. And unfortunately, you can only go so far with your theme teams when you get Golden Ticket Bo, you get Golden Ticket Trey Edmonds, and Golden Ticket AP. I know you're a huge Washington football team fan, but every time I see Adrian Peterson in a number 26 jersey and a Redskins jersey, unfortunately, I can't. Those players don't play on my team due to the fact that I'm a huge number issue. Anybody that knows me knows I have a number dilemma. There's so many times that I can't have the same number on the team playing. So if I can't have 2 number 81s, I can't have 2 number 26s. It's just one of the things that I have. Like literally, I will make my team based off of numbers. Why? I don't know. But it's crazy. I think the last 2 years are the first 2 years I've allowed that to go away. And just kind of deal with it. But back in Madden 15, I stayed away from having the golden ticket JJ Watt when you could have the boss JJ Watt playing D tackle because I didn't want to have 2 JJ Watts on the team that were 2 99s. My number 99 on my squad all the time is always Danielle Hunter. Guy's a beast. He's going to be amazing. I'm worried that we don't have Everson Griffin on that other side this year, but at the same time, he's aging. He's going to get older. That's some of the things that you'll see with football, and you guys got to kind of go with it. I hope he has the best career ever and ends up turning Dallas around on the D line, and Dallas will see what can happen with him. I mean, Griffin's a good player. I hope he mentally can be prepared to play the game and go from there. So,
all right. Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna give you guys one more last chance to get some more questions in here. If not, we're gonna let Ginger get out of here and enjoy his night with his family. Or if he's gonna load up 21 and let it rip, because I know I'm gonna load 21 back up and let it rip myself. I'll probably
I
be
will.
done.
Yeah, my plan for the night is I'll probably go hang out with Marcy for a little bit, and then I'll jump on and play a little bit of Madden. I don't know if I'm gonna play on PlayStation or Xbox, but I'll probably hold off on streaming tonight. But I'll probably be doing a special stream tomorrow, since I'm off on Friday, and then I'll do my usual time, 10 to 3 on Saturday and Sunday. So
There you go, guys.
that's the
So,
plan.
appreciate you coming on, guys. We got a couple of announcements we're gonna make before we get out of here. We have the birthday stream tomorrow. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on because apparently there's some type of dinner happening. I don't know. I don't pay attention to these things. I just go with it, type of deal. And it's food, and I haven't been eating, so because I'm intermittent fasting right now, so it's kind of one of those things. Is like it's dinner, I get to eat. I've lost like 27 pounds, so I'm
Nice,
loving
my
life
guy.
right now. So we have that, but then the big announcement is Saturday. We have the 24-hour suicide prevention charity stream for the AFSP. Going to be a monster charity event. We have a bunch of great streamers involved. We have JG603. What the fuck, gamepad? I always do that. It's just natural. Yes. But WTF gamepad. We have Meese Mode that's in the chat. We have, oh my god, there's so many of us now. I can't even think. We have Toke Assassin. We have Felony One Gaming, Raw Dog, the partner streamers involved with it. We have Rob Gaming. We have I think it's XO Dragon's Bad in it. No, I'm probably missing people. We have Finn, a guy from, I want to say he's from like Norway. He's involved with it. We also have a guest speaker coming on from the AFSP big chapter, like the main overall big thing in New York. She's coming on. She'll be on at 1 o'clock, and she'll be giving out a lot of information for mental health. Just tons of great information will be dropped. We also have we also have an awesome donator and her husband that are offering to match up to $5,000 raised. So if we raise $5,000, they're going to match it with another 5,000, which means we could easily be donating $10,000 after the stream, which is going to be
Nice.
unheard of. And there's a lot of giveaways. Giveaways at 100, giveaways at 500, giveaway at 1,000, so on and so on. It keeps going. There will be a big giveaway, a $200 package from Manscaped, which is my sponsor. We'll be giving that away. I'm not going to release how that one gets done. That way, we'll release that information on Saturday of how that can be attained. So hope to see you guys there. That is going to start at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be starting that, and we will run 24 hours or however long it happens to be, because I tend to go really hard for these charities. I'm a big charity person. This one's really close to home, and I've done 36 hours straight for this charity already, so I'm not afraid to go long. If the hype is there, I will rock out. So, like I said, guys, hope to see you guys there Saturday. My birthday is important, but you know, I can deal with you guys not being there tomorrow. You need to be there Saturday. Saturday's where Saturday's where it's at, guys. But like I said, we got a bunch of streamers. There's names, their links, and stuff will be flying. We'll have everything in the chat for you guys. So if you guys want to donate, if you can't donate, just being in the chat and keeping all the streamers going and whatnot. Not sure how long everybody's going to be gone. I know my deal is 24 hours. Like I said, I don't know about the other guys. I've already told those guys they're not required to go 24 hours. Not everybody's wives, girlfriends are up for that kind of stuff. So
True.
But luckily I have it. But we're going to let our man Stoney get out of here so he can actually fire up the game, get a little taste before he goes to bed or whatever he's got going on. Like I said, brother, I appreciate you coming on, and I hope your journey.
Thanks for having me, my guy.
Your journey keeps continuing to flourish, keep just going up. But we're out, guys. Peace.